All right, live. My first live on TikTok. So excited about this. Um, yes, I am so excited. So, um, Today we will be talking about what entrepreneurs do in their business and why they don't do things in their business. So, we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome today. And why is that important? That is really important because as you are starting a business online, there are many times they come rapidly and they sit for a very long time, right? And they usually cause people to stop doing the money making strategies in order for their business to move ahead. So, wanted to um, just give the definition of imposter syndrome and hello, Georgie. I am going live on TikTok for the first time too, so I'm super excited about this. So for everyone on TikTok, hi, I'm Colleen. Um, I am talking about imposter syndrome today for all you entrepreneurs, everyone who is wanting to be an entrepreneur. Um, Talking about the number one thing that I see people quitting for. What is imposter syndrome for an entrepreneur and how do you overcome it, right? This leads to the biggest reason why you talk yourself out of doing things is imposter syndrome. And there are many like different avenues that lead towards creating the imposter syndrome in your mind, right? And basically, like that's a label. Imposter syndrome basically just means you feel like a fake, you feel like a fraud. Um, so, imposter syndrome is a feeling of self doubt and insecurity that can arise in individuals, including entrepreneurs who have achieved a certain level of success. Right, certain level of success as you're starting out could mean that you created one video and you posted it. Right, doesn't need to be monetary success. Success is defined by a lot of things. They may feel like they're not qualified or capable of the tasks they are undertaking, and they're fearful of becoming discovered as a fraud, right? So, what I see a lot of people as hey, Annette, good morning. Thanks for jumping on. What I see a lot of people, so we'll tackle this in two ways. So, the beginner, so the person who just purchased their first course, the person who is just doing some research, right, about what it is, but they've they've decided to go all in. They've purchased their first course, right? um, that's the first person we're going to talk about. So they purchased their first course, they're watching some of the videos, right? And they're seeing flooded all over the place, all over social media. They're seeing people that are posting all this success, right? And they're sitting there thinking like, oh my God, what did I just do? Right? What did I just do? I purchased this course. I just spent all of this money, and there's no way that I'm ever going to be able to achieve what all these people are saying that they've been able to achieve, right? That's imposter syndrome first, right? That's your first indication, that sense of self doubt, that sense of you're not good enough to accomplish it, right? So that's where you have to be. That's where I recommend you have people that you can talk to, right? People that you can talk to that have been maybe doing it for a little bit, right? So they're going to be able to help you figure out, all right, you know what, that's extremely normal. That's extremely expected. Everyone goes through it. Everyone goes through feelings of not feeling like they're good enough, right? So, um, oh, it says I can invite. Huh. Sorry, everyone that's following me on Facebook. Going live on TikTok for the first time, and it says I can invite people, but I'm inviting, but it's not doing anything. So, um, I don't know how to do that. So we'll have to figure that out later. TikTok universe, if you know how to invite people to go live when you're going live, please send me a message. I'm I'm not new to TikTok, so for everyone that is checking out my profile right now, I've actually been on TikTok for since May of 2021. I had a big account, I deleted it, I wanted to start fresh. So this is my new account, right? So I just reached 1,000, I think on Tuesday. But because of my in real life craziness, this is the first time I've been able to go live. So super excited about that. So for everyone that is tuning in for the first time on TikTok, my name is Colleen. I am a life coach. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm an online business coach. I'm bringing 20 plus years of experience. Hi, Julia. Thanks for joining. Bringing 20 plus years of experience to the online space and bringing almost 2 years of experience in the online space, building a business, helping people build a business through courses, through different products, through books, through softwares, through all of that stuff. So not professing to be any sort of, multi-$6 million figure guru, right? But I do have resources for people. And my goal is to bring the intersection of online courses, things that you want to do, and the intersection with mindset. So, all right. So sorry for scrolling off. Let's get back to imposter syndrome. So gave you the definition of imposter syndrome. So it's a lengthy definition. Basically what it means is you feel like people are going to discover you're a fraud. And that is typically because what you're trying to do is you are trying to come across as you've achieved all this success, right? Or maybe you're thinking that's what you should be doing, is you should be coming across as you've achieved all this success, right? But what you're going to be doing in the very beginning as you start your entrepreneur road, right, down to your goals, your business goals, right? Um, oh, good, Georgie, you figured it out. You'll have to let me know. So as you're going down the road and as you're starting to post your content, right, as you're starting to have conversations with people, be clear about where you're starting, right? Be clear that, hey, you know what? I bought my first course 2 months ago. This is what I've learned. This is how I've applied it. This is how it's worked for me. There are people in the community, like you can use community members' results as well. Ask them if you can use their name, right? Because, whatever. I mean, we're all on social media. Everything's all publicized, but still ask people if you can use their name. But you can use community results when you're talking about the successes, right? So don't forget to do that. So one of the, so besides what I just said, one of the good ways to overcome and get rid of imposter syndrome is one, to recognize that is a very common feeling, right? Very common feeling. And it doesn't just apply to online business, right? Feeling like an imposter applies to everything. So, hey, Mary Beth, thanks for joining. So you can feel like an imposter, say, for example, you have decided to lose weight, right? And no, that's not a good example. Let's just stick to the script, right? I don't want to squirrel off and get you guys all confused. So recognize that feeling like an imposter, feeling like a fraud is a very common feeling. Many successful entrepreneurs have experienced this. They continue to experience this all throughout their success, all throughout their time building and retweaking and learning and adapting everything that they're doing, right? They may experience a level of success and then things kind of flatten out a little bit. And then they question, like, well, was that a fluke? Do I really know what I'm doing? Right? So that's how imposter syndrome can kind of weave through, depending on where you are in your journey. So once you recognize that it's a common feeling, that can help you understand. So then, rather than feeling like a fraud, take a look at what your actual abilities are, right? Focus on what your actual abilities are instead of comparing yourself maybe to someone that is 6 months, 6 years, 60 years ahead of you in this game, right? You're going to want to reframe your thoughts. That just means change them. That's a big word for change them, right? So instead of focusing on things that you feel like you're not good at, focus on the things that you are good at. So if you're 2 months into your journey and you're creating content, if you're 2 days into your journey and you're creating content, talk about the products and tools you're using, how they're helping you do X, Y, and Z, and then throw in some community results, right? Remind yourself of the skills and knowledge that you're bringing to the table today, right? That's how you can feel like you're not going to be discovered as a fraud, because you are legitimately coming from the seat that you're sitting in right now. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Um, Anybody who is here, if you have any questions, if you want me to stop, if you want me to rephrase something, if you want me to talk a little bit more on that one particular thing, just shoot me a comment. I'm watching the screens. I'm watching both screens to make sure that I'm catching anyone that is here with me. So this is really, 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 really important, especially for most of us that are beginners in the build an online business. And I would say a beginner is anyone that is like, has not been doing this for like 3 years, right? And has found, this is my definition of a beginner. So everyone else's definition might be different, but I would consider someone a very beginner who is 3 years or less, right? And they have yet to achieve consistent, steady over time income, right? That's what I would consider someone who is not a beginner. Doesn't mean they're an authority, doesn't mean they know everything to everything, right? That's just what I would consider someone who is not, who is no longer a beginner. They have, and it doesn't mean that they won't adapt. It doesn't mean that they won't add a different, layer to their business. It just means that they have figured out what is working for them, and they are consistently seeing success month after month after month after month, right? So they've gained confidence that what they're experiencing is not some sort of fluke, right? So again, that's my definition of someone who is probably no longer a beginner in the building an online business, right? And so for people that are not interested in actually building a business, if there are people that are just interested in selling products, right? And selling multiple products, you're still building a business, you're still building your personal brand, you're still building your social media identity, you're still building your digital footprint, right? So everything that you're putting out there is going to stay out there forever. So if people are interested in watching your journey, if you're on YouTube, they can go and check out that, right? They can check out the timeline of when your videos were posted, right? Um, if you're on any social media platform, right? As long as you don't delete account like I did on TikTok, people can see your progress. If you're on Facebook platform, people can see your progress, so they can see like, oh geez, you're right, she did start 3 years ago, and these are the achievements, these are the student testimonials that she's posting on there. So then that gives you a sense of authority with the people that are checking out what it is that you're talking about, right? It helps them feel like um, she knows what she's talking about. But that doesn't mean that someone who is a beginner can't help someone, because if you're a little ways into this, you are actually, in my opinion, if you are a little ways into your journey, 6 months or less, right, you are in a perfect position to help a beginner. Because once you get so far from your beginner journey, you forget what it's like to be a beginner, right? You forget the little things that people overcome as they're building their online business. So I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I did. Um, so another way to ward off feeling like a failure, feeling like a fraud, imposter syndrome, is to seek feedback, right? If you're working with a coach, right? Seek feedback from them. Have them take a look at what you're doing. Have them give you feedback on your videos. Have them give you feedback on your written content. Like, have them give you feedback, right? That also includes the people that you're working with. If you're getting good feedback from the content that you're putting out there, right? Use that, learn from that, grow from that. Um, I really strongly recommend that people find themselves in an accountability group, right? So if you find yourself in an accountability group of people that are in a similar position to your online journey, you can support each other. What I would caution you from doing is making sure that it is a positive accountability group and you're not just in there um, bitching and complaining, right? Because, we can kind of get dragged down to that rabbit hole, and that's not really good, right, for your mindset overall. Um, can't wait to forget the beginner shit. Absolutely. Um, the angst of a beginner certainly is an angst for sure. But it's also being a beginner is also the greatest growth you'll experience. It really is because month to month you see your growth, like if you had two people following you for the first week, right? After 4 weeks, if you have 50 people following you, that's growth, So focusing on those things and focusing on the things that are going up and up and up and up is helpful for the beginner too. Because if you get stuck on the vanity metrics, so how many likes you have or how many comments you have, um, you can really get trapped into feeling like you're not measuring up to everyone else, maybe that has like a lot of followers or engagement and all that stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not achieving success. Some people, a lot of people, the majority of people are silent witnesses, right? They're the audience members. They're watching, they're consuming, they're making sure that they like who you are as a person, right? And then, boom, one day you may put out a piece of content that just, right? It just it just resonates with that, and they're like, yes, she is definitely my person. He is definitely my person, right? Um, um, and they reach out to you, and they're like, all right, I'm ready to hear what you have. Like, what do you have for me? So that's the beauty of being a beginner, right? So another way to ward off and deflect feeling like an imposter, feeling like a fraud, feeling like a fake, worrying that people are going to find out that you actually don't really know what you're talking about, is practice self-compassion, right? Be kind and understanding towards yourself. If you've only watched an hour and a half of your course, but you're taking action, be proud of that, right? Be proud of the fact that you watched an hour and a half and now you're taking action. That's something to reward yourself of. Absolutely, right? Remember that making mistakes is part of the learning process, and it doesn't mean that you're a failure. Hey, Gretchen, thanks for jumping on. My camera just went blurry. Not quite sure why. Um, Remember that failure is the opportunity to fine tune it and do something different the next time, right? So if you, um, whatever you create, if you feel like it just didn't, people just didn't pick up what you were laying down, right? Take a critical look at it. Like, what is it about this piece of content that just doesn't seem like it resonated with people? Change one thing about it, right? Change the headline, change the call to action, change something and see if it hits differently. And if it doesn't, then it's probably just you haven't found the people that it resonates with. Go back and tweak it a little bit, right? Create something new. Let it go. Let it go. Everything that you create is not going to be treated as if it was the long lost diamond hidden under Mount Everest, right? Not everything that you create is going to be like, oh, like that is fantastic, right? People who achieve that level of success have years and years and years and years and years and years and years behind them of success, years of getting in front of people, years of testimonials, right? Years, years, not months. Just because someone smashes out 5 high ticket sales in 7 days does not mean that they've achieved long term business success, right? Just means that they've done something right because they've gotten to know people, they've built some relationships, and they've built trust, right? So they've done something right. The key is, do they continue to do that over time, right? And it's not uncommon for sales to kind of slow down very quickly in the beginning, right? Because you may have, you know, 50 people that you sent out things to, and, 15 of them were following you for a while and they were ready to go. Maybe some of those, hey, it just says Facebook user, I'm sorry. Um, Maybe some of those people have been doing this for a while and they have a really good solid following, and the product that they're promoting now is just what people have been waiting for, right? So don't compare yourself to other people. That's and that's tricky because in the online space, doing market research is necessary, but then you can fall down that comparitis rabbit hole, right? And that's never really a good thing to do. So, another way that you can ward off feeling like a fraud, having imposter syndrome, is to take action, right? Feeling like you're frozen like a deer in headlights can be a sign of not taking action. Overcoming this is taking action. So, even if all you do is write a 2 line post, if you're here on Facebook, a 2 line post, even if you're creating short form video, if you create a short form video, even if you're not talking and you have some compelling copy on the screen with some cool music, that's taking action, right? Doing something is how you know you're overcoming imposter syndrome, right? Because imposter syndrome leads to inaction. So let's jam on now why some people may experience imposter syndrome that has nothing to do with being an online business, being an entrepreneur, right? It has to do with your mindset. What is mindset? It's your frame of mind. It is your disposition. It's your attitude built from the people who gave you your foundation in life, those people who raised you. Yes, it does come from them. I'm sorry to say, everything we have was built on our foundation of mindset. Comes from coaches, comes from neighbors, comes from aunts, uncles, grandparents, right? Everybody who was around during our developmental years contributed to our mindset, positive and negative. So, want to share a few things with you guys when we're talking about mindset. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Let me get my doc back up. Come on. So this is going to be a little deep, just a little deep. I'm not going to go as deep as I have in the past, right? It's going to be a little deep. So some contributing factors. I put something together yesterday for someone that I work with privately, um, an online entrepreneur that I've been working with for a while. Um, oh, thank you, Anna. Oh, Den, you have no audio. Bummer. Well, the good thing is this will be up for replay in the group. So, um, thank you, Anna. I really appreciate that. Um, so this is going to go just a smidgen deep, right? So we just jammed on how being an entrepreneur alone can create imposter syndrome, right? So now we're going to go towards the mindset foundation, right? And um, so yesterday I was chatting with someone that I work with privately, one-on-one, very successful, multiple six-figure online entrepreneur, business owner. They really have some cool stuff out there. So I put this together for them. So it is forgiveness. I won't go into what that means. I won't go into all that stuff. Um, if you want to jam a little bit more on that, get me a message and we can work on it, either one-on-one or inside of my group coaching. I cover this, and for the peeps that are in my my private group coaching on online, they get access to this full thing. So if it's something that you want access to, as well as another awesome thing that I put together, gave them access to it as well. So forgiveness means letting go of the hope of ever having a better past. Okay? That's what it means. So when you are starting an online business, when you're an entrepreneur, this can even flow over into the workplace as well. It's not just for entrepreneurs. When you are building something, right, you're going to have feelings of self-doubt, right? Going to have feelings of self-doubt. That can lead to imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud, right? I'm going to read off some things and let me know in the comments if you have ever said any of these to yourself. I'm bad. I don't belong. I'm broken. I'm a burden. I'm crazy. I'm damaged. I don't deserve. I'm different. I'm not enough. I'm a failure. I'm not important. I'm inferior. I'm invisible. I'm not lovable. I don't matter. I'm powerless. I'm not safe. I'm too much. I'm unworthy. I'm not wanted. I'm worthless. I'm wrong. Has anyone ever said one of those things to themselves, right? Yes, right? Comments are coming in. Yes. If any of those things are a repeating pattern in your life, that is what is called a core wound, right? And the forgiveness process that I take people through helps them heal those core wounds, right? Helps them understand where in the foundation of our mindset, where in the framework of our mindset those came from. That is extremely important, right? Think about this. So if you are building a garden and you're creating multiple different vegetables, right? And isn't the ultimate goal success? The ultimate goal is to have vegetables at the end of the growing cycle, right? But there's so much that goes into a successful crop of vegetables, right? Soil type, pH in the soil, acid in the soil, the proper amount of watering, the proper amount of lighting, the proper temperature, like just some that I know, right? I'm certainly no farmer. I grow tomatoes and cucumbers, and I just put them in the ground and they come up. So if you're building a garden, right, it doesn't start with those things. It starts with the seeds, right? If you want to, if your outcome is to have pickling cucumbers, you need to plant pickling cucumbers. If you want to have a human being not saying all of those things that I just mentioned, then you have to plant the seed of healthy. and positive reinforcement and all that stuff, right? So why do I mention forgiveness? Why do I mention core wounds? Why do I mention repeat and patterns as part of today's topic of the biggest reason why you talk yourselves out of doing things, right? Here's why. Mindset. Mindset. Mindset is what allows you to do and not do everything you want to achieve in life. It's the number one thing. Number one thing. You could spend $700,000 on courses, right? I mean, not to brag, but my friggin' brain is worth a lot of money, right, guys? Again, not to brag. I have a master's degree. That cost me a lot of money and time to achieve. I needed it for what I do in life. Lot of money. I have spent a lot of money in my online journey since May of 2021. So my brain is worth a lot of money. If I sit in fear of feeling like I'm in a fraud and people are going to find out I'm a fake, right? What good was it to spend any of that money? I'm not using any of the tools that I just spent all this money learning, right? So that's why I bring up forgiveness as part of mindset, as part of feeling like an imposter, as part of not achieving success in online, right? Just having a conversation. I just got kicked off. I was just having a conversation with someone this week, one of my private clients, and they are um, they experience multiple significant symptoms. And now I'm going to scroll off a little bit, right? I'm going to scroll off a little bit. So we've talked about imposter syndrome. I touched upon forgiveness a little bit, gave you a list of terrible things that we say to ourselves, right? Many of you said yes. You say those way too many. Yes, 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 yes. Too much, multiple. Yep. So we have all said those things to ourselves, right? So now I'm just going to share this story. So one of my private clients, significant, um, significant things happened during their developmental years, right? So they've plugged along, plugged along, plugged along, plugged along, right? They're extremely successful. They have a master's degree themselves, right? And stepped out of their role that they went to get a master's degree for, stepped out of that role because of the multiple layers of symptoms that they're feeling as a result of their mindset, as a result of that framework that they were given growing up, right? As a result of that, walked away from the thing that they put themselves to school to achieve a master's degree, walked away from it. And they are frozen, completely frozen. The level of anxiety, and I know that's a big term that a lot of people do not understand. They don't understand the multiple levels, the significance of it. I'm not going to go into all that today. If you want to jam on that, reach out to me. We can, work something out and do that either in my group monthly mastermind, or on a very select one-on-one basis. But um, they're at the point now where everything, everything that they do and everything that they think about makes them feeling short of breath, makes them break out into a sweat, makes them say all of those things that I just had said, all the I ams, right? I'm not enough. I'm, not worthy. I'm not important. Um, they are bombarded, bombarded by their own thoughts so much that they cannot sometimes manage to even get out of bed for the day. So here's my number one tip. If you are experiencing any self-doubt, feelings of imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud, any of those core wounds that I just talked about, the number one thing that you can do for yourself is paper. I'm studying for an exam on Tuesday. Passed my first practice with the 97, failed my second one with the 72. Thank God they're only practice, but I have to pass it this time, or I have to wait 6 months. So no limiting beliefs for me, none whatsoever, none. I am passing my test on Tuesday, passing it. So if you have any seeds of self-doubt, any seeds of any of those things that I pointed out, any struggles with imposter syndrome, any feelings of feeling like a fake, what's this? It's a pen. Most people don't know what they are because we use everything electronically. This is a notebook, pen, and a notebook. Write down what it is your thoughts are telling you. If your thoughts are telling you, oh, how do I create? Oh, I can't create. And I'm not downplaying how hard this is for people, right? I'm being over dramatic, right? So I don't want anyone to think like I'm downplaying. I can't, oh my God, I can't press play. Like I just can't. Like, what if people are judging me? What if people think what if I look too fat? What if I look too thin? What if people don't like my hairstyle? Like, what if they pick on my glasses? Like, what if people are mean to me? What if they're not? What if none of that happens? And even if it does, who cares? Those people are on the other side of a screen. They're not your people anyways. But my number one recommendation, if you are experiencing any negative self-talk, pen and paper, write it down and flip it. If you're saying to yourself, I'm going to look stupid if I create a short form video, write down what looking stupid is to you. Are you thinking other people are looking stupid for the content that they're posting? If you are, stop doing that, because you're judging other people. And if you're judging other people, it's because you're sitting in self-judgment. If you're thinking that other people are going to judge you, it's because you're judging other people and you're sitting in the seat of self-judgment, right? That's just an example. Pen and paper, write down the thought, flip it to a positive. That is my biggest piece of advice to overcoming those beliefs that you're telling yourself. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I don't belong, right? Here is a really powerful quote that I loved. It's by Mark Twain. And just sit and think about this. Sit and think about this. I'm going to go back to forgiveness for a minute. Sit and think about this. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Think about that. Think about that. What does that mean? That means that flower is going to give off its beautiful scent despite being hurt. How that can translate into you is you are going to succeed today despite being hurt. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. Probably not. We all have core wounds. We all have felt like an imposter. When I first started my online journey, I felt like I could not start creating content. I could not start creating conversations. I could not reach out to people because I didn't know everything there was to know, right? I felt that way. And it actually, I don't know when I posted my first short form video on my old TikTok account, but I want to say it was quite some time after buying my first course. I felt like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? How do I say it? Right? I had never done marketing before. I was brand new to marketing. Yeah, I've had my own business since 2006, but that is very specialized, right? So in the beginning, I had to overcome feeling like I needed to know everything that there was to know about it. I needed to have achieved a certain level of success before I could create any content. And the biggest thing I had to overcome was all the technology, right? I did not use any technology prior to coming online. I barely knew how to use my phone fully. I still don't actually know how to use my phone fully, right? So I had to overcome a lot in the very beginning of my journey. And there have been things I've overcome since then. So um, before I end for today, does anybody who's still here with me, does anybody have any questions or thoughts on imposter syndrome, forgiveness, and core wounds? Again, I know I went a little deep. I didn't stay there. But again, if anybody is watching this on the replay, if you want to work with me, I have two ways that you can do that. You can jump into my monthly Mindset Mastermind, where I go live every week. I talk on a topic. I go deeper than what I even did today, give examples, and give the people in that group access to any of the assets that I've built that go in conjunction with that. And then once a month, we will go live in Zoom so we can all be in the same room. So if anybody is interested in joining my monthly subscription, reach out to me and let me know. And if you feel like you want to do something a little bit more one-to-one, and you want 100% of me, we meet on Zoom, face to face. I give you the recordings, and we talk about whatever topic it is that you're having the most mental heaviness, so to speak, right? Um, that's how I do that. So I take very limited on the one-on-one people that I work with. However, the group, my goal is for the group to be like 100. So for 100 people. So again, anyone who's watching this, you want to work with me either in group setting, one-on-one, anyone on TikTok, if you want to have a conversation, if you want to know what it is I use in my business, follow me. I'll follow you back, send me a message. Or you can even find me on Facebook. Colleen Kendall Duchamp. I'm on Facebook. That's my send me a friend request, send me a message, say, hey, I saw I saw you on TikTok. Love to learn a little bit more about what you're doing, right? Or comment on one of my reels. So yes, all imposter syndrome is a battle you fight every day. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it prevents any sort of progress. It really does. It prevents progress because you stay stuck, like cemented in this mud puddle, right? Splashing dirt all over yourself, and you can't see, like you can't see a way to get out of it, right? Um, I use very simple frameworked strategies. I'm not saying they're easy to do, but I use very simple framework strategies that have been used by me for 20 plus years for people to achieve their personal and professional goals. So um, that's what I got for you today. Does anybody have any questions? Anything you want me to expand upon before I go for the day? Super excited for any of you who is here on if any of you are here following me on TikTok, I am super excited because I just reached 1,000 on this is my brand new account on TikTok that I started, and I have been slowly growing it. I've been growing it, um, doing what I want, posting what I want, letting you all know what's important to me, right? So, all right, you're good. So, everyone, you're gonna see me more. People that are here on Facebook, people that are maybe following me on YouTube, right? You're gonna be seeing me more. I'm gonna be adding more lives again, because this is what I love to do. This is what I love to do. So I want to deliver this more to people than just once a week. So thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Again, anyone who's watching this replay, if you have any questions, anything you want to expand upon, or if you want to work with me, just let me know. Thank you, Annette. I hope you have an awesome day too. We got some snow today. It's heavy as anything. I didn't shovel any of it. I just did a little bit of pushing. Um, so, yeah. So, have a great weekend, everyone. I will talk to you all soon.